why don't we kind of dial back to 2010 when a Bitcoin could be bought for a few dollars? And today, I don't know what's the value of one Bitcoin as we speak.
Yeah, it's tens of thousands of dollars. Yeah.
Right? So anyone who bought it for a few dollars back then has become exponentially rich today.
Yeah.
What were you doing in 2010? Speak from a human perspective. And the first time someone ever explained cryptocurrencies to you, how did they explain it? Because the tech world always seems to know about what's going to happen in the near future, and they utilize that knowledge as leverage in order to build wealth. But someone had to have come to you and say that, I'm assuming, Raj, you're a coder originally.
Yeah, I code, I design, but mostly I do like the business side.
Right?
Yeah.
Let's go back to you being a teenager.
Yeah.
Someone taught you how to code, right? You learned.
Yep.
Maybe you built a few applications.
I learned on the internet from other people around the world. Yeah.
Right? You worked, and then at some point, someone came and said to you that, hey, you know what? Cryptocurrencies are going to be the next big wave in the world of tech.
Yeah. I was in health tech. I was in, biomedical sensors. Now the Apple Watch has, so many health sensors in it. It can tell you your oxygen saturation and your heart rate and your heart rate variability, and it can tell you how well you slept. Back then, that technology was just starting. The wireless protocols to enable it were brand new. And so, I spent 7 years of my career building those sensors, building software for those sensors. And what I noticed was that it was very slow to be able to get these things to market because of the regulation, And again, this is rules. It's rules that are set by individual people in government, right? And in the U.S. government, in most governments, you can add more rules, but you rarely take them away. And the more rules you add, the slower and the less agile the system gets. So, in healthcare in the U.S., I always say it was like running in quicksand. It's like running for your life, but you're in quicksand. Your legs are just getting buried deeper and deeper and deeper. So it's not decentralized and it's not agile. It's a part of the economy that really staves off innovation. At that time when Bitcoin came up, all the best engineers that I knew that had chosen to put their time in that very difficult regulated industry to create a positive impact in the world in health tech, they all started paying attention to the white paper, to the learnings about how that technology would work, and to the very tiny little financial markets that were starting to trade this fake internet money, this new asset. And when they explained it to me, it was very technical. It was a lot of, big words about cryptography and encryption and decentralization and all the things that are still confusing. But the part that, that clicked for me is, all the way back to the Wild West, when you got to a small town, there was always somebody who said, I'm going to be the guy that sits at the desk and records everyone's balances. And if you want a loan, you come to me and I will make sure I record how much the loan is. I'll make sure I record how much you owe. I'll make sure I take those payments. And if you want to store money with me, I will keep the records of that money, of your balance, right? And that was in the West, that was the first trusted bank-like organization, right? But often it was like in an encampment, literally a guy just at a desk. And what did that guy do? He would take a spread, right? He would, lend at a little bit of a higher rate than what he was taking deposits at and paying out. And that's how he made money. And Bitcoin was the first time that there was no desk. It's just software that does all of that tracking. What does it track? The movements of this new asset that is like gold, which is what they were using in the Wild West. It was mostly tracking ounces of gold.
Right.
Now you have digital gold, and instead of one person that is trusted by everyone to keep track, that's taking a percentage, you have software that can't be corrupted because it runs in so many places.
Gotcha.
And engineers in Silicon Valley got very excited about this concept because they knew that if it worked for gold, it could work for many other things, any other type of asset, and it could work for programs. It could work for all the things that banks do, which is very complex. They have many, many products and services. And so another big word that got tossed around a lot was disintermediation, which means that person, they were trusted. They're an intermediary, right? If you deposit with that person and then someone else borrows, you two are not transacting directly with each other. You're using this intermediary, right? So what people got excited about in Silicon Valley in 2010 was the idea that any marketplace could be disintermediated. You could turn it into a protocol, turn it into software, turn it into something that nobody needed to trust because it runs everywhere and it can't be corrupted.
Okay. Again, so if we dial back to the early 2010s, amongst Silicon Valley engineers, they all were possibly facing problems which are parallel to the problem you faced in health tech, where you're like, hey man, the government is just too slow. I won't be able to build this technology and or this product and or this business quickly because of government regulation. And that's the first time you hear about Bitcoin. And there's a lot of other engineers like yourself who heard about Bitcoin. And y'all kind of understood this technology on a more technical level, saw the potential in it, and decided that maybe all of us should buy a bit of this. That's how Bitcoin gained its initial quote-unquote hype, right? And then over the years, because this was the first cryptocurrency, the value's constantly gone up. So in my eyes, there has been a little bit of a first mover's advantage that Bitcoin had. Yeah. Enjoyed this clip from the Ranveer Show. We've uploaded a ton of other clips related to a ton of other topics. So explore the channel because there's something for everyone.